Hi there, my name is Tiago with Relay.io, and today I'm going to show you how you can run your review meetings with the new engineering performance capabilities of Relay.io. Let's check it out. So let's start with the engineering performance dashboard, right? So this is what you get by default. So this is an overview page where you have like the PR cycle time chart, the change lead time, the MTTR charts, right? Below of this, you also have the DORA metrics ranks because we are filtering by teams, and so this is the scorecard that is applied automatically to all teams, and you can see like the different results for all the different services. You can look into how compliant all these teams and services are with the practices that you're trying to enforce across the organization, right? So you can, if you click there, you'll see like the services that are compliant, the ones that are not, so you can do something about it, right? So this is one side of the things that you can focus on. But for today, because we are focusing on running like a performance review meeting for your services, and basically, so I'll focus on the productivity side of things, right? And the gray lines that you see here are basically a reflection of the average of all teams and all services. In this case, we are grouping by teams, so this is basically an average of all teams, right? And so for the sake of this demo, I'll be focusing on some teams that basically are the ones relevant and included in this meeting, and so these are the ones that I will be focusing on. So let me start by selecting none, and then I'll go with inventory team, order fulfillment, payments, and user management, right? So all of the teams that are customer facing, because that's the scope of the review that we are running, right? And so we immediately see that there are a few things that basically are really high numbers for things like change lead time. Eventually, like the PR cycle time is also really high. In this case, we have a few incidents that take a little bit longer to basically close and resolve, and so let's investigate this a little bit further. So as I told you, these are the aggregated metrics from all of these services. So we can also show the teams and highlight these teams in a more effective way. So let's enable them. So I'll enable all of them because I still don't know like who's the outlier in this situation, and so we need to investigate that further, right? So we see that already that like for instance the user management team is the one that is causing like a change lead time to go up at a specific point in time. So you're talking about like 600 hours. These are like a lot of days. We are also seeing that like we have like some incidents also from the user management team that are taking a bit longer to resolve. We also have the inventory team here regarding the PR cycle time, so it's taking a lot of time to close the PRs. And so let's investigate that further, and I'll start by going into the productivity tab, and this is where we can see like a lot more metrics than the ones that we have on the overview page, right? So we have things like the merge frequency, we have the time to first PR response, which we can also see that is a little bit higher in some of these services. We have the deployment frequency, unique contributors, lines per code, and we also have like an outlier on this one. So let's start to kind of dig a little bit deeper on this one, right? So I'll start by focusing on this chart here, the PR cycle time, because one of the things that I'm trying to implement as part of my organizational standards is to be able to kind of not create bottlenecks in my process of merging code, right? And so I need the review processes to be really fast. I want them to be done properly, but I want them to be fast, so developers are not just waiting for their PRs to be reviewed and merged, right? So I see that we have like a high number here for the inventory team. Okay, so I can click there, I can start and navigate into this into the team's information, try to see like all the different PRs that were created for this team. But typically what would make sense for me is now that I know that we have like some issues on the inventory team, I can actually go and check like which service is causing this. So I can go into the services. I can basically try to apply the same filters, right? And so I can basically enable all the services, or I can just choose a few of them. So let's go and just select the inventory team, filter the inventory team. So now we see only the services from the inventory team. We can see that, okay, it's still there, right? So we have that I number. And so we just need to know which service is the one that is causing this to happen. And now we know, right? So it's the product catalog service that is that has these over 800 hours of PR cycle time. So let's go and investigate what is causing this. So we'll go into the product catalog service. We'll be kind of moved into the software catalog, where we'll be in the dashboard where this specific service is like all of its information is listed. And I have these dashboards created with different sections, but I know that this is about PR cycle time, right? So this is under like the CI/CD in my organization is under the CI/CD dashboard. And so we can look into things like the latest deployments and all that. But what I'm really interested in is on the latest pull requests, right? So let's just do one thing, because we know that the PR cycle time metric is actually the average time from when a pull request is opened until it's merged, right? So first thing that we can do here, because I have a list of all the pull requests that have happened related to this service. So one of the things that I might want to do is actually look into the status and just select merged, right? Now I have filtered down the list. The next thing that I want to do, just to find out like which PR is to look into the date, right? So we can see that this is on the 15th of January, right? So we can scope this down a little bit further, and if I just order this by date, I can see that, okay, we only have one PR for January 15. So I already know that this is it. This is the PR that is causing this to happen, right? So let's look into some of the things that we can get immediately from here, even without going into GitHub, where actually the code is hosted, right? So we can see that, first of all, the PR was created on December 12th, and it was closed on January 15. Okay, so it's over a month, right? There are a few of the things that I typically do when running these analyses is, okay, so the first review was on December 23rd. So this means that we had like 11 days before, since basically the PR was created, until we had someone actually look into it. Could it be like Christmas vacations or public holidays or something like that, or the team was just not available, right? So that is the indicator of one of the challenges that we had there. Another one that is kind of reflected here is around the number of lines added, right? So we have like over 2,000 lines of code added. So this is a huge PR, right? So even if we only had even if we had reviewed the PR in the next day, it's still like a very large PR. So it probably required more people to review it, or required a lot of back and forth until all of this was solved, right? And so we can go into more details. We can actually go into the PR and check like if there's like a long list of back and forth regarding the conversations, and so we can go there if you want, but I just wanted to show you like what you immediately get when you use engineering performance dashboards and capabilities in Rely.io. So that's it. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it.